Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot. It's your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I am truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. If you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel, so I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. Should these messages happen to resonate with you along the way, it would truly mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. With that, today's reading is, what do people find impressive about you? And for the first time ever, I believe, on my channel, I was called to do a 4-pile pick a card, which I have never done before. And I went through and I did one from each zodiac. We have water, earth, air, and fire here. What zodiac was picked, that might resonate with you. If it doesn't, then it could just be that you want to pick the elemental group that's there, or if you were completely drawn to one just because that's the one you're drawn to, just remember that it doesn't have anything to do with necessarily the zodiac that's been picked, even if the zodiac does come up in the reading, okay? We're going to be using my Earth Magic Oracle cards today. I'm not going to be reading these from the book because I know this deck really well, but let's go ahead and move to our prayer and we'll get this reading underway. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous just because I've not done a reading with four piles before, but I'm excited to see what happens. So let's see here. All right, Source. Hey, my beloved Source, this prayer is for any and all who come on to this reading, whether it's for a moment's time or for the entire time. You know, we're always looking for validation. It's our human nature to want to be validated by others. It's our human nature to want to impress others as well. And for people to see us exactly as we are without us having to wear a mask. And sometimes without us having to take off the mask too. Can you just see beyond the mask? Can you just see me as I am without me having to change anything? And sometimes this thought process might get us into trouble. And sometimes this thought process might keep us from finding out the truth about who we are. And while these readings are fun and we do them for that same purpose, also they come through and they remind us of the greatness that resides within each of us. And they remind us of the light that we have to shine outwards into this realm. And that's what I asked today, is that reminder that we are great exactly as we are, that there is no requirement for us to change, that there is no necessity for us to lose ourselves so that we can be seen, liked, heard, and understood by others in this world, because it was never about all those other people. It's always and only has ever been about us seeing, understanding, hearing, and acknowledging and validating ourselves. For truly, the only person that we are ever in competition with is ourselves. And truly, the only person that we can ever make lasting impressions on is ourselves. So today I ask that you help us open up our hearts to this deep truth. And that whatever emotions we make moving forward, we know that we're doing it because this is what sits right within our hearts. And this is helping us to bring us closer to that aligned, capital S, self. As these words are spoken unto this reading and upon this tribe, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Hase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved Source. Thank you. All right, let me get that over here. Okay. All right, so Source, what Earth Magic Oracle card will help us better understand? What do people find impressive about my collective? What do people find impressive about my fellow humans? What Earth Magic Oracle card will help us better understand what people find impressive about my fellow humans, Source. What would you like to share with us? Okay, thank you. What do people find impressive about my fellow humans, Source? Alright, so for pile number 1, Source, what Earth Magic Oracle card will help us better understand what people find impressive about pile number 1? Thank you. And for pile number 2, Source, what Earth Magic Oracle card will help us better understand what people find impressive about pile number 2? Okay, they want the bottom one. Alright, and for pile number 3, Source, what Earth Magic Oracle card will help us better understand what do people find impressive about pile number 3? Okay, thank you. And for pile number 4, Source, what Earth Magic Oracle card will help us better understand what people find impressive about pile number 4? Alright, thank you. Okay, collective message. We've got Wind, the activation card. This is a card about initiation, and so collectively what people find impressive about you is that you're always growing spiritually, and that it seems like every time they see you or they recognize you, you're going through yet another spiritual growth spurt, and you're experiencing some sort of initiation, and you're also helping others to see their internal power, to speaking their truth, and to letting that truth be heard in this world, and not fear retribution for being who one is. And what people find impressive about that is that you're the leader by being the example. You're the one that is saying, I'm doing it, so if I'm doing it, then you can do it too. And that's helping other people to relinquish control on said masks that they're wearing, or said fear that's been around for too long that they're not able to overcome. You're giving them courage to overcome something that has been stuck and stagnant in their lives for potentially a long time. And it's like, as the wind blows, it's making me think of that story. And I don't know if that story is connected with this card, which it very well might be. It actually might be connected with the Sun and the Radiance card that's from this deck as well. But there is a story that talks about how the sun and the wind have this competition, and they say that whoever gets the man that's wearing this coat to take off his coat first wins, right? And the wind is actually the one that loses the competition. No surprise there, right? Blows and blows and blows, and the man just holds on to his coat even tighter. But the sun shines as bright as it can. It gets so warm that the man gently takes off his coat. And the moral of this story is that sometimes gentle is more effective, right? However, for you, the reason why they're showing me this story is that for you, it's as the wind blows is what's more effective for you as a collective. It's necessary for you to speak and to be clear in your speaking to the world around you, whether that's setting boundaries or expressing your creativity or expressing yourself from an honest and loving place. It is necessary for you to always blow this out into the world, to let the wind become your whispers, and through that you're impacting others in a very unique way by helping them to activate the remembrance of their internal soul, of their internal grace. And that's what's coming through here. Wow, this is a really powerful message. All right. So let's get this set up for you. I am losing my voice a little bit. I had a pretty intense session with Source before getting onto this reading. And yeah, so that's why I don't really need to go into detail about it, but that's what was happening. I just had a very intense session with Source. And if you're asking what does a session mean, it's prayer. I always spend a lot of time in prayer before I come onto these readings so that I can prep energetically, mentally, emotionally, but also so that Source is channeling through me because I've already pre-established that connection. All right, so hang with me. It will get better as we go. I've got some mints that I'm eating that are helping my throat as well. So for pile number 1, we do have this dice with Pisces on it. Okay, or we have this piece of soda light for you to choose from. For pile number 2, we have this dice with the Taurus symbol on it. Or we have this beautiful piece of rose quartz. Okay, for pile number 3, we have this dice with Libra on it. Or we have this piece of blue agate for you to choose from. Okay, for pile number 4, for the first time ever, we have this dice with Leo on it. Or we have this piece of yellow jasper for you to choose from. Okay, so pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. And with that, I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Pisces on it, if you were drawn to this piece of soda light, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what do people find impressive about you. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. If you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel, and I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. Should the messages resonate along the way, it would truly mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out, what do people find impressive about pile number 1, Source? What would you like to share with us? What do people find impressive about pile number 1? Okay, so we had Pisces come back out. We've got 11th house, Pisces energy, and the sun. You could have Pisces sun, Pisces in the 11th house. You could have Aquarius, sun, moon, rising, or Venus. You could have Leo in the 9th house, the 12th house, the 3rd house, and 4th house, I'm hearing. And Capricorn rising is coming through as well. Okay, and if none of those resonate, that's all right. That doesn't mean it's not for you. What do people find impressive about you? They find impressive your hopes and dreams, your wishes, and how you openly share those things with people. You might not share how you're getting to where you're going, but you share your hopes and dreams with people because you want people to see that focusing on you and focusing on what it is that you want to express in life, the only way to get there is if you make it a reality for yourself. And what better reality is that than to share that with people, even if they don't believe in you? It doesn't matter. It's just saying, this is where I'm headed. This is what I'm experiencing, and this is what what I'm going to do when I get there. But you might not show the steps. You might not talk about the individual steps that you're taking to get there. But people always find you as impressive as, like, you have these massive wishes. You wished upon a star. You wished upon a North Star here. And somehow you have been intuitively guided to find the right way to get there and to express yourself and to let yourself be seen as that. And people don't question that. So whatever it is that you said, this is my dream, people are like, it somehow fits you, like, even if they don't believe it themselves. So say, like, you want to own a multi-billion-dollar company that impacts the world and is globally seen and recognized, and this is just an example, okay? And people are like, that's impossible. Like, you could never get that big, and you could never have that experience in your life. But beyond that, they're over there thinking, they're like, that's totally perfect for pile number one. They embody that no matter what. They're actually the embodiment of that dream, even if you're not there yet. Or maybe it's something like you want to open up a small business that helps people and that helps a community. Or you want to become a CEO, or you want to get a management position, or you want to help take care of special kids, special needs kids, or you want to help take care of adults who need assistance, or, whatever it is. It could be construction. It could be being a law enforcement. A lot of healing is coming in here, though. With the Pisces energy, this could absolutely have to do with the health industry. I'm also hearing like a retirement home or something like that, assisted living type of energy. Those are just a few things that are coming in, but it's like you want to do something that not a lot of people would ever dream of doing. Maybe you want to be a doctor, and a lot of people, while they dream about it because of the money, but you actually dream about it because it's a passion, right? So that's the difference here, is that you're embodying this passion, and that's what people find impressive about you, is that it's not just you saying this because you want some grand entrance or you want some grand, big name in the world. It's because this is something that you embody already. You embody the fame, or you embody the help, or you embody the love and the compassion, and that's what people find impressive about you. So let's move on and see what the tarot says. Okay, I'm going to use the Osho Zen today because I just feel like this is a perfect reading to use it on. What do people find impressive about pile number one? Yeah, like, you're so independent because you believe your intuition and you trust it. You're not wondering like, oh, is this wrong or right for me? Like, you feel into what's right for you and you just go for it. You see beyond what everyone else sees. Like, other people, like I was saying, the example with the doctor, you know how some people, they just want to become a doctor, or families push them to become a doctor or like a lawyer because it makes a lot of money. But for you, it's something that you want to do. It's not about the money, it's about the passion that's behind it. What do people find impressive about pile number one? Yeah, what did I say? Your guidance, your intuition here with the 3 of coins. What do people find impressive about pile number one? Thank you, Source. What do people find impressive about pile number one? Yeah, you have this, I heard tenacity. You have a tenacity for staying in solitude so that you can get guidance. We have the 9 of Cups here on the bottom, and don't let that laziness fool you. You're seeing things from a very clear emotional standpoint, very clear emotional mental place, like very emotionally mature. And you're seeing very clear here with clear eyes and a clear heart because you're receiving this constant guidance. You're receiving this constant support from your angels, from your guides, from your higher self, from God, from Source, from Spirit, from the universe, whatever it is that you're going to call it. But it's because you're not afraid to be alone. You're not afraid to be with yourself. That's where you found the most power. And that's what people find impressive about you. It's like you're living this life of luxury based on you going towards what fits you. And so that's what they're so impressed about, is that you literally embody who you are. It's like, if you're a hippie, you embody being a hippie. If you're a business person, you embody being a business person. But it's not you wearing a mask. It's literally like the extension of you coming out from the expression of your soul and the expression of your heart. They couldn't see you as any other way, because that's you, and you live in that creativity with the Empress here. Yeah, you're very creative. You're very, you have a genius mindset. Like, you're very full of solutions for every problem that there is. You don't see problems as problems. You may see them as opportunities, and that's something that people find incredibly impressive about you, is most people live in this lack mindset where every problem is a problem. It's not an opportunity, or there's not a solution. The only solution for them is to sit and wallow in it, or to worry about it, or to be hurt and anguish about it. And for you, you're seeing it as an opportunity to grease the creative wheel to go to the next level. And it's because of that that gives you this luxurious energy. And I feel like people are very calm when they're around you, and people are very inspired when you're around. They want to laugh with you, and they want to just experience you overall, because you have this very powerful energy about you. But your aura is very aligned with your chakra system and with your higher self, and you're this very, like, it's like a channel. And it's not necessarily like, you don't have to be psychic. You could be psychic, that's perfectly fine, but it's like you're a direct line from source to Mother Earth. There's like this line of energy that's coming from your star crown chakra all the way to the Earth star chakra, and you're in total alignment with that, and you're constantly working on that alignment by being in this solitude. You know, you could see 369 a lot. You could see 3399. You could see 333999, but we see this energy of always being surrounded by a very direct and helpful team, spiritual team, that is always ensuring that you know exactly which steps to take and what's best for your highest good. But what's impressive about people is your ability to exude that in this realm, to vibrate that out into this realm. And you inspire creativity in others, and you inspire that want to connect with their own internal guidance, and you inspire that want to be the embodiment of their dreams and to heal themselves. And many of them might not know where to begin, but they're looking to you for that example. They're looking to you for that guidance. They're looking to you as like, pile one knows how to get there, so let me connect with pile one and see where we can go. Yeah, Aquarius energy coming out here. And did I say Aquarius in the beginning? Like, you might have Aquarius heavily aspect in your chart. We have originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. You're very original. You are the trendsetter. You do things very differently, and that's something that people are impressed by you. You're not trying to follow the crowd. You're just trying to be who you are. Even if what you want to do in life, there's already a million other people doing it, you're the person that stands out because you do it the way that works for you. You're not trying to copy others. You might take examples from others, you know, like, oh, I'm going to try that and see how it works for me. And then when you find if it works for you, you still put your own spin on it. You know, it's kind of like sales. And you could be into sales too, but what I'm saying is like sales. It's like you see someone who's a really good salesperson, and you're like, hey, let me learn from you. And they teach you their ways, and you're like, this is great. This is gold. I needed this. Then you go back and you still make your own individual tweaks to what they gave you, which makes it work even better for you, right? Because you're not trying to be that person, but you want to emulate that person. And so because of that energy, people want to emulate you, but the only thing that they've known how to do their whole lives is to try to be another person. And so they're trying to figure out, how do I be myself while still trying to emulate pile number one? Because that's what you're showing them. We've got Capricorn on the bottom. Didn't I say Capricorn moon? I think I did say Capricorn moon. I believe I said that at the beginning. If not, that was coming through. I'm almost 100% sure I said Capricorn moon. I don't know. We're going to go on. Ambition, realism, and methodical steps. Yeah, you're a very ambitious person. You don't let worry stop you from being what you want to be, who you want to be. You don't let fear stop you. You face your fears head on. You're a very strong individual. Energetically, you're incredibly resilient as well. Yeah, power with deer here, number 11. Look at this, a lot of master numbers, 33, 99, 11 coming out here. So a lot of master numbers. You might have master numbers follow you everywhere, but also you may be able to connect with very, very specific ascended masters on your journey, or you've reached out to certain ascended masters and they have graciously come forward to help you because you were willing to ask them for help, and they are always there making sure that you've got what you need on your journey, the knowledge you need, the wisdom you need, the energy that you need, whatever it is you're asking for. But we see here you're incredibly powerful, and that's what I was saying with the moon sitting on top of her antlers here. You're emotionally sound as you're moving about. You've done so much internal healing, and you do things from a place of very calm and collected. I'm in my logical sense, but you're still moving from your heart, right? You're not making rash decisions based on your fears or based on your worries. You're observing what's going on, and you're making sound decisions based on the knowledge that you're taking in at each and every moment. And that's what people find impressive about you. You're just very strong person who's very clear about what they want in life, and you're not worried about what everyone else is thinking. And maybe at one point you were, but that's something that's definitely shifted for you along the way, is that you're more concerned about what it is that's going to work for your highest good here. And there's this little boy who's walking this canine. He's walking a German Shepherd around, and the boy is like, the dog is bigger than the boy, and the dog is so calm and gentle right now. So you're very calm and gentle energy, but you're also very fierce looking and very intimidating. We have the Rebel. I love this. Challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. The Shadows rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Exactly. So you're not in this place of doing something because of peer pressure or because it's fashionable, right? This very much ties in with this Aquarian energy. It's like you're doing it for the sense of it works for you and it feels right for you. It's not about what it feels like for everyone else. It's what it feels like for you, and moving towards that is the most important thing for you here. And that's what people find impressive about you. Okay. On the bottom. Yeah, electric eel. Bring your ideas to life. Right? So that's that energy I was saying. It's like being the direct line. You have a direct line that's a clear channel from the manifestation current as well as moving upwards to the liberation current. It's just constantly flowing in motion in you. And so you're receiving ideas, creating them, manifesting them, while also sending ideas out into the ethers that are coming back as manifestations, right? So there's just this constant synergy between you and the spiritual realm, between you and source, between you and your guides. There's just a beautiful synergy that is going on there. We have Descendant. 2 is better than 1, and I don't know why, but this card always makes me feel like the higher self. This is the agreement that you had with your higher self. Now, I know that's not what Descendant means, but that's the energy that I'm definitely getting from this card. It's like, this is an agreement that you made with your higher self, and you're taking it very seriously, and you're acting upon it, and not questioning what's coming through. And on the bottom, yes, we have the Midhaven. Mind your reputation. This has never been about how you've looked to other people. It's been about how you wish to be in this world, how you wish to express yourself in this world. But there's also like a caveat to that, which is saying like you're expressing yourself in this world the way that you wish, but that's in a highest alignment with you in this moment. not as you want other people to see you, but as you want to see yourself, right? Abundance. Yes, I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Very clear here, Source coming in with confirmation after confirmation. You're a manifester and you manifest exactly what you want in this realm, but you also have freedom of the liberation current as well, which is that connection with the divine. News, yeah. And this feels like, Source, you know, the ravens are the messengers of the spiritual world. Many birds are messengers from the spiritual world, but bringing that news to you, it's like your guides bring you this news, they bring you this information, and you're the one that acts on it. You're the one that takes it to the next level. Trickster, we have transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. And the shadows, manipulating others through duplicity. And I feel like you've had very duplicitous people in your life before. And you've had to learn how to traverse having tricksters in your energy. But that's given you a lot of strength here. And that's what impresses people, is that no one can trick you. No one can pull the wool over your eyes, Pile 1. And that's what people find impressive about you. Maybe even people who have tricked you before, manipulated you before. They thought that they could, but there's no way that they can. Yes, we have the student. Humility and devotion to knowledge. Openness to lifelong learning. The shadows, arrogance in pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. This goes and it confirms what I was saying, like from your guides, from your team, from the ascended masters that you work with, you receive this knowledge and you immediately act on it. You're not saying, I'm too enlightened for this, or I'm too good for this. It's like, even if it's grubby, hard work, you're like, cool, I'll do what it takes because I know this is getting me to where I need to go. Like, you're very clearly aware that even the hard work is good work, and even the easy work is good work too. Like, there's a balancing act here. Use your mind wisely. We keep getting this energy coming in about having a clear mind here, having clear emotions. You're not ruled by your emotions. Your emotions are definitely working in synchronicity with your ego, and your ego is no longer in control. It's working in tandem with your spirit. And this is creating a very balanced, level-headed approach to life. And this is something that people find very impressive about you, Pile number 1. Again, you're never driven by an emotional outburst. You are always very logical and sensible in your approach to life. You might also have Gemini highly aspect in your chart, or have Mercury in Gemini or Mercury in Virgo. Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. You're always changing. You're never the same. I think I said that at the beginning too, like you're always evolving. You're always becoming something else. You're always enlightened. If not, then that came out in the collective message that I had at the very beginning. So let's take a look at the Earth Magic card that you got and why people are impressed about you. Yeah, that Hermit energy coming through. You're not afraid to be alone, right? And whether that's cutting people out or just simply choosing like something different than what so many people are like, oh, we have to have friends, or we have to have lovers, or we have to have a husband or wife, or we have to have children in our life. And for you, it's not about all of that. Maybe you've already gone beyond that and you had that, and now it's just, I'm all about connecting with myself. Or maybe you're one of the ones that's like, I'm cool. Like, I'll be single for my whole life and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not out here trying to get somebody involved in my life that's not doing the healing, that it has a ton of baggage and bringing me down. I would rather have somebody meet me on my level and we grow together. But that might be something that's been hard to find or hard to connect with along your journey. And so for you, it's just about like, I'm cool with being alone because I know I'm not alone, right? You have tapped into something that many people wish they could, but it takes practice and it takes persistency, and it takes having this passion to really know what's beyond what we can physically see, touch, hear, taste, and smell, but to see into our deeper senses, into the nuanced senses that come from our spirit. And that's what people find so impressive about you, Pile number 1, is that you've tapped into that. Not only have you tapped into that, you're also living a life that very few would choose to live, which tells me that you might be practicing celibacy, you might be taking your spiritual journey very seriously, and it's never been about connecting with another person. That hermit energy is talking about, I don't want to physically connect with another person sexually or spiritually in that way because it could upset my journey, and I'm fine with that. And what's impressive is not the fact that you're choosing that, but the fact that you are completely unfazed by that being a part of your journey. You're not over here like, oh, woe is me. Why can't I have love? Why can't I have this? It's not about that. You're perfectly capable of living your life to the fullest as you are in this moment. And you found happiness within and contentment within. And that's what's impressive about you. I love this reading for you, pile number one. I'm so honored I got to connect with you in this way. So this is what I see here for you. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little strong arm emoji down below and say, I am aligned with my higher self, and I'm the channel for which the wisdom is graciously flowing through me at all times, and I'm okay with me, with myself, and with I. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this amazing reading, pile number one. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Taurus on it, let's see if we can focus that a little better. If you were drawn to this beautiful piece of rose quartz, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on what do people find impressive about you. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. If you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel, so I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. And should the messages happen to resonate along the way, it would truly mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. So with that being said, let's hop to it, and let's find out what do people find impressive about pile number two, source. What would you like to share with us? What do people find impressive about pile number two? Okay, so we've got Virgo energy, we've got Mercury, and we've got the 9th house. You are humble about your gifts, your talents, your knowledge, your wisdom, how much you know, how much you've experienced. You're very humble about it. You're not out here trying to make people feel bad or like, you know, like you've been through some stuff, pile number two, and you've been through a lot. I feel like people recognize that you've experienced a lot of your life, and sometimes even are willing to admit that you've experienced more life than what they could have ever witnessed in their own life. But you're still not out here trying to make people feel bad about that. You will absolutely share your stories with people in hopes that it brings healing, understanding, compassion, forgiveness, whatever it is that your feeling is behind sharing that. But the truth is that you're very humble about it, about your upbringing, about your experiences, and about what you've gone through. And you are someone who's constantly evolving your knowledge, your physical knowledge in this world. You have that knowledge of the divine. You're very much tapped into the Akashic record as well. But for you, pile two, it's about what you can physically sponge up from this world. You might have Sagittarius placements highly aspect in your chart. You might also, this is a weird one coming through, but you might also really enjoy leg day at the gym. Like that just might be one of your favorite days at the gym is leg day. And I know that's so specific, but it is coming through. But you're someone who, like, the student for life is coming in, but it's more than that. It's like you love to learn, you love to read, you love to explore new possibilities. It's like you might read, nonfiction books a lot, but you also enjoy fiction books, right? Like you have a very good balance between the two, but you definitely love to absorb new things. And so if you're learning about a new topic, you might pick up a book on it, or you might watch a video on it, or you might go online and learn about it. You might talk to somebody about it. But whatever it is, like, you just have this expansive knowledge of things, right? And maybe growing up, you're always like, useless knowledge number 52, and would say something, and but now you're recognizing that, like, wow, I'm so glad that I have all this quote unquote useless knowledge, because this knowledge is actually very useful in my own journey and in my own life. It has helped you reframe the way that you approach your own life, and mishaps and inconveniences and struggles. And in turn, when people come to you for advice, you feel like maybe a lot of people come to you for advice, pile number 2, and you're able to express that in ways like, well, forgiveness was hard for me, or letting go was really hard for me when I was going through XYZ. But this is what I learned from it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you share your story, but you leave it in their hands, right? They have to find their own way, because you know the power in finding your own way. And this is something that's people find incredibly impressive about you, is that you're completely open and you're vulnerable and you're willing to give advice, but you're also not saying, like, you better follow my advice or else. You're just like, this is what I have for you, take it or leave it. And, you'll learn on your own. And that's okay. Just remembering that there is no right or wrong. There's only ever going to be what's right or wrong for you. And you're just this person who's very open to letting people be who they are. But it's because of how much you know. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if you studied psychology. You might be a psychologist. But for many of you, maybe you've studied psychology, maybe through, if you're a lawyer or like a paralegal, just through learning all the different laws and everything, you found enjoyment in the stories that have been presented. Like, why do laws exist? It's because a case was created in regards to that law. And I know there's so much more that goes into it, but it's just that there's always a story behind that. There's always a reason behind that coming to light. And maybe through that, you've studied deeper into that, like, why do people do these things? Or why do situations like this happen often? Or maybe you're into divination and you're always wondering, like, more about mythology and also psychology. I keep coming back to psychology, but maybe, like, why do people act the way that they do? And how does that play part in our everyday lives? And it might not even be as deep as psychology. It could just be, like, really observing people in their element, and learning as much as you can about, astrology or tarot or oracle, or, I kept hearing when I was getting ready for your pile, soothsayer. So some of you could very well be soothsayers, and, it's really powerful to be a soothsayer. And so maybe you're learning about how to really tap into that part of yourself. Past lives coming through. I'm going to be using the Osho Zen cards today for you. Fitting cards for this reading. So, source, what do people find impressive about pile number 2? Slowing down with the Knight of Coins. What do people find impressive about pile number 2? Beyond illusion. Yep. What do people find impressive about pile number 2, source? Harmony. Yeah, I'm not surprised at this. You're a very intuitive person. Yeah, with the soothsayer energy coming through, of course, your third eye is, like, wide open. But you're also a very curious mind. We have the wheel underneath the deck with change. With these 2 cards, when I saw them, I feel like you have this way of slowing down time. Like, maybe when people are with you, time time lingers. You know how they say, like, when you're having fun, time flies? But people really enjoy spending time with you, but there's something about you that brings it to this place of stillness, of slowness. And I feel like it's because you're not in a hurry. You're not trying to rush to get somewhere. You're just trying to be present with what is. And because you're so present, it's almost like you can manipulate time. And some people are very impressed by this, whether they recognize that that's what you're doing or not. It's just they're very impressed that when they're with you, they're always having a great time, but it feels like time just stands still for them. And then when you leave, it's like everything speeds back up, and sometimes maybe even doubly so. It's like their life is trying to catch back up to how they were living their lives, because that's the energy that you have around you. It's just very calm and collected, very easygoing, and they're very impressed by that, and they're very much like want to spend this time in your energy because you bring this sense of balance and harmony into their lives as well. But also you see beyond whatever it is that they might be coming to you for advice for. So like if you're in a legal practice, you know, people are coming to you for advice, of course, right? But you're also helping them see it as maybe a spiritual way without realizing it. Or maybe you're using your intuition, and your intuition is pinpointing certain emotions that they're bringing into the case, and that you're saying that this might, you know, this might affect it in a negative way, or this might affect it in a positive way. And you're able to tap in, you know, and even if you're not in law, that's fine. You know, like I said, if you're in divination or something like those things, that ability to be your empathic self, but also to sympathize with others from where they're coming from, because most times you may have experienced a similar situation to what they're bringing to you. And maybe not all the time, but I feel like there's probably a 66 to a 75% chance. I don't know why that came through, but there's this percentage that's coming through where you probably experienced what people are getting advice from you on. And you know, you have new situations come to you, but because you're so experienced in life, you're able to adapt to those experiences that you've never been through, and you're able to still see it from where this person's coming from, while also seeing it from a very intuitive psychic place. And you elicit a lot of change when people come into your energy, when people are around you. And it excites people, but it's also very intimidating and scary to people because they're not sure of what to make of that. A lot of people don't like change. They like things to stay the same. They like things to always remain constant, but the only constant is change. And when you're around, somehow, because time slows down, and you're in this very beautiful place, and you're not driven by your ego, you're driven by spirit, that it's like, I want to live like that, but to get to that point in life is very frightening. And in order to do so, they would have to elicit a ton of change in their own life, which is something that many people aren't willing to do. But if they take your advice, right, and that's a big if, you never know, people might, they might not, but if they take your advice, they do recognize that you've given them a piece of treasure for them to lean on and become a better version of themselves. And that's not something that always necessarily happens. You know, people go to other people for advice, and it's just backed by the emotional ego. And for you, it's backed by, you see how both of them have their eyes closed here? It's backed by you listening to something much deeper, listening to spirit, listening to the guidance you're receiving. But it's deeper than just guidance. This is like an inner knowing that you're receiving. You're tapping into the collective energy, cardinal energy. We have Aries, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, with instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. You're brave, and you're not afraid of what's next. And you take those steps, and you seem very fearless. And I already hear some of you pile to, you're laughing, you're like, oh no, I'm totally full of fear, like it's very scary to do these things that I've done. But also I feel like you've done them so many times that facing your fear is not a big deal anymore. Like when you first started, maybe it was a huge deal for you to face your fear, and now it's not, right? We have House 9 coming out again on the bottom with spiritual growth. Yes, you're very tapped in. You're very aware of things that are going on beneath the surface. And people really are impressed by that. Responsibility flying out with Meerkat here. And you help people see that not everything is black and white. There's a lot of color as well, right? And if we're only seeing things in yes or no manners or this or that manner and not seeing it as the possibility of what things can be, we oftentimes miss out on very helpful healing tips, energies, nuances, wisdom that can come through, because we're seeing it as like, I'm right and they're wrong, I'm big and they're small, right? That energy of like, it has to be yes or no, when it's not. There's a whole lot of maybe mixed in with that, right? Yeah, connection. So a lot of people may come to you for relationship advice as well. This is also coming back to that psychology energy, right? Like you could be a therapist, you could be a relationship expert and a relationship therapist. You could be the couples therapy that people go to, or people come to you because they're dealing with really difficult decisions about connections in their life and they need help on that, things that are tying them down, but they can't see that part of it because, you know, when you get emotionally involved in something, it's easy to brush red flags under the rug and not look at them like, oh no, we don't need to look at that part of this life because, you know, that's scary. Oh, I love this for you. We had a healer flipping over here. It says a passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Thank you so much for this confirmation, source. The shadow attributes are taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. But that's what you do. You're helping to transform pain into healing by sharing your own experiences. You've been through so much. It's like, I feel like if people are like, oh yeah, you don't know what it is to suffer, you could be like, okay, if you really want to go tit for tat, let's go. And eventually they run out of stories and you're like, oh, well, that's not even half of it. Let me get into some of these other things. But you're not like that. You're a very humble person. You're like, it's fine. If they want to believe that I haven't been through suffering, I've been through enough to realize that I can't convince people of what I've experienced. Because if they don't want to see it themselves, they're not going to. And that's what creates this humble air around you. And that's what people find very impressive. Because I do feel like there's a lot of people here who've actually heard huge portions of your story and they're like, whoa, pile number 2 is still this beautiful person regardless of all these horrible things that they went through. Femme fatale highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. We have the shadow as inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money, and power. I love this energy because it's like you are not looking for people to accept you. They can reject you and that just opens your heart even further, right? It's just, it's not this energy of worrying about what people are going to see you as. It's just this energy of like, cool, if they're not going to see me, then there's going to be someone else who is. And you continue to open your heart. It continues to help you see the truth of everyone out there. And it's also, a femme fatale is very intimidating to people, especially to divine feminines that are in their shadow. So you might have been, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or whatever you identify with, none of that matters here, right? This is that energy. You could be very strong in this, the dark feminine energy, the femme fatale, and very seductive to people. But when someone comes in their shadow, they're very threatened by you because they are jealous or they're seeing you as somebody that they have to compete with or whatever the situation is. But it may be that very energy that has created a lot of hardships in your life. And now you've learned that it's not about being right or wrong. It's about me staying in my lane. And when I stay in my lane, I'm able to traverse this crazy world knowing that I'm not out here to try and impress others. I'm out here to do this for myself. Look at this. We've got butterfly spirit with transformation is beautiful. Number 11, a very highly evolved spiritual being. This is not your first lifetime. Honey, this is not your 100th lifetime. It wouldn't even surprise me if you have lived more than 1,000 lifetimes, because you are very, very wise. You may have been heard in your life that you are an old soul. You're wise beyond your years, and even as you grow older, you still have wisdom that people who are twice your age don't, right? It doesn't matter. That's always going to be true. You'll be 90 and people like still other 90-year-olds don't even have the wisdom that you have. It's because you're always observing and learning and somehow magically at the same time integrating all that powerful energy for your highest good. And that's what helps you to stay in this healer energy. Wow, this came out on the bottom of the deck for pile number 1, 2. We have Midhaven, mind your reputation. Many people do this for the mask. You're doing it to uncover. And that is scary in and of itself, because it's different from what everyone has been shown or taught or believed that they had to live in their life. Like, I have to live with this mask. And you're helping them to break down that mask in a very kind and loving manner. And the Midhaven is also our, what we find, so it's like our 10th house, right? The Midhaven's like our 10th house. It's like our purpose, but it's a little bit deeper than that. It's something that's tied to our 10th house. So my Midhaven is in Libra, and when people see me online, they see me as someone who's very Libra oriented, right? Someone who's very balanced, who's very diplomatic, who's very fair, very harmonious. And when I was in my shadow, they could see me as someone who's very gullible, super dependent, and only worried about the beauty in life, like only worried about being seen a certain way. Okay, so like these are the things that Libra and the Midhaven would bring. But because my Libra and the Midhaven is also like a powerhouse for me, it's showing that when I'm in that state of diplomacy, right, when I'm actually getting a chance to exercise that state of diplomacy, whether that's in my physical life, whether that's online, whether that's, you know, with friends and family or whatever, that's where I excel at the most. And that's where I feel most connected with my highest self. And so knowing your Midhaven is very, very powerful, but knowing how to use your Midhaven, it allows you to really stand in your centered gravitational pull of self with a capital S without fearing who you are. Because when you've healed the shadow of it, you recognize that this has actually been a part of who you are for so long. Okay, so that's just an example. So I'm just trying to use myself as the example here so that you recognize that your Midhaven is where you're your strongest. And we have the 3rd house coming. Take a good look around. Yeah, you're always observing everyone. So it wouldn't surprise you if you have your Midhaven in Sagittarius. You might have it in Cancers coming through here. I'm also hearing Midhaven in Scorpio. So whatever, if that's not you, that's fine. That's just for someone. But we did have gratitude flip over. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents. Didn't I say that at the beginning of your reading? You do not see problems as problems. You see them as opportunities and balance. I love this for you. I bring a state of perfect harmony. We had so much harmony coming into my world, and I do so without judgment. That's it. You're not out here judging others like, oh my gosh, like you want to go tit for tat. Like you're not in that energy. You're not trying to convince others that you're better than them or that you've experienced worse than them. It's like, I'm giving them wisdom. I know that my wisdom has value. If they don't see that, that's okay. That's not a plight against me. Surrender now with Both. So you got both, look, you got both the butterfly and the moth. This is powerful because the moth spirit is the dark energy, the shadow energy, the dark masculine, the dark feminine. Then you have the butterfly, which would be the light masculine, the light feminine, right? This is a perfect harmonious balance between the shadow and the light within. You've found harmony between both sides, and you've learned how to surrender to the transformation, to the change. And then we have the cusp. Break on through, baby, right? So you might have a cusp energy where you were born on the cusp of two signs, right? That's when you actually are showing signs of both signs. So like if you were a Pisces Aries cusp, or if you were like a Leo Virgo cusp, or whatever it is, right? It could be anything here. But the other thing is just showing, like, no matter how difficult something seems, the impossibility or the improbability of it, right? The improbability of it, you're still breaking through it. You're not letting that hold you back. So we're going to take a look at your card here. I don't have the book out for these, but we've got synergy. Did I not say synergy on your reading? I think I did. Maybe I didn't, but I'm pretty sure I have said it at this reading at some point. But you have this very synergistic energy, right? You are in perfect flow with the divine. I'm pretty sure I said that did I say your auras and your chakras are in synergy? I don't know. I don't remember. I can't. That was too long ago. It was yesterday and it's tomorrow. So let's stay in tomorrow. But yeah, you have this beautiful synergistic energy. Like, even with people who are very crude and rude and brutal, like, you find somehow to show up in this very synergistic energy to where it basically makes them vibrate out. And this is what people find so impressive about you, is that you're not broken by anybody. And you know that, right? You know that, but you're not out here saying like, oh, that's right, no one gets me down, like, yeah, haha, in your face. Like, you're not this person who's arrogant. You're very humble about it. You're like, I had to learn the hard way to get here. I'm very grateful for the journey that I've had. I'm very grateful for all the things that I've experienced. But also we see here, there's so much green in your reading. You're running from your heart chakra. Your heart has been leading you for a huge portion of your journey. After you healed yourself and after you've gone through some very difficult healing moments in your life and integration moments, through that healing now you are able to let the heart speak. And as the heart speaks, you follow that and you let that be the guiding light in your life, while also maintaining this very curious edge to yourself as well. So you have a very beautiful energy, pile number 2. I'm truly honored that I got to connect with you in this way. So if you feel like this is your reading, leave the little green heart emoji down below and say, I listen to what my heart desires, and I know that I'm very connected, and I'll always be a student for life. And that's where the fun lies and the adventure starts and thrives. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very, very powerful journey and message, pile number 2. Until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Libra on it, if you were drawn to this blue agate, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on what do people find impressive about you. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And if you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel. So I suggest that you strap in, hang on, and you and I are going to find out together. And should the messages happen to resonate along the way, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it, pile number 3, and find out, what do people find impressive about you? So source, what do people find impressive about pile number 3? What would you like to share with us today? What do people find impressive about pile number 3? Okay, so we've got the 6th house, we've got Aries energy, and the sun. Interesting, because I kept feeling like you help advocate for passion. passion in life, passion for the things that you do, passion in your workplace, passion just in general. I do feel like many of you advocate for that. You're very much in this energy of do what makes you happy and don't let people keep you from that. And you found some sort of routine in your own life that allows you to embody and embrace the things that make you happy. And that's what people find impressive about you, is that not only are you advocating for it, you're expressing it out there, but you're also living that passion. You're living that freedom that comes with doing things that really make you feel good or make you feel like, you know, life has a reason, right? A purpose. But sometimes the purpose is not what everybody has imagined it to be. It's not necessarily making money. It's not necessarily about success. And I know that's purpose for some, but for you, pile number 3, I feel like it's more about my purpose is what makes me feel happy. And that's what I know makes me just filled with light. And that's what people find very impressive about you. You're not out here preaching about getting $1 million tomorrow. You're not out here even trying to tell people like the only way to live is the high life. If you're able to, you know, have champagne every night and live in a mansion, you might be telling people, shoot, sell all your stuff and go off grid. You know, you might be telling people to live in a tiny home or to do minimalistic living, right? Live in a minimalist state and get rid of all the things that you don't use. And that might really scare people, but it's also very impressive because you experience that yourself and you also live that, and you're not, it's like not conflicting what you're saying and who you are. They're very much in balance with one another. And you're a leader and you're helping to teach that to others. And people find that very impressive that you're willing to share these things that go against the grain, right? It's very difficult to go against the grain in this day and age because everybody wants to do what everybody thinks is the quote unquote right thing to do, but the right thing that everybody thinks is right has actually been causing a lot of burdens or a lot of strife or a lot of upset. And this has been something that's been really healing for you. It's also helped you find, it's like a work-life balance. You found out the way that I'm tired today, so I'm not going to work extra hard, or I'm really energetic today and I'm going to get in as much as I can. Like, you found a good balance between things, and it's your routine that helps you keep that balance. And I feel like you're very disciplined as well, and that's another thing that impresses people is your consistency. Like, when many other people would have fallen off, you're still going. Even if you're barely moving, you're still going. You're still showing that you're fighting for this dream, or you're fighting for this passion that you have, or you're fighting for this way of life that means something to you. It's very important to you. So we're going to use the Osho Zen today and see what's coming out. Yeah, you've become a master. I feel like you don't look at yourself as a master of this. You're just looking at yourself as someone who's teaching others how to do something that has been meaningful to you. But a lot of people see you as a master, as someone who has mastered this way of living, and you've definitely mastered yourself, and that is such a huge accomplishment along this journey. And I feel like that's exactly what people find so impressive about you, is that you have mastered yourself in a very beautiful and gracious way. So let's see what else comes out for you, pile number 3. So Source, what do people find impressive about pile number 3? What do people find impressive about pile number 3? Wow, okay, thank you. On the bottom, we've got the Hermit with the loneness. Yeah, you've definitely done a lot of soul searching here. And you know, you think about the Hermit, like, look, he's just got his clothes on that he's wearing in his stick, and I don't need a bag, I don't need anything else to carry with me, just have what I have on my back, and it's going to take me to where I need to go. And so I feel like you don't have a whole lot. I mean, you have what you need, but you're not an overspender. Like, you're not worried about spending your money on everything. You're not worried about spending on things that don't matter, you know, like to try and fill space. You've learned to fill that space with space. And that's also something that's incredibly impressive about you, because you're not trying to find, what is it, retail therapy, or you're not trying to find like living beyond your means therapy, because I feel like that is a thing, right? Some people, they really believe like I'm only going to be loved and accepted if I live beyond my means. And for you, it's more about how can I really maximize what I'm already getting while still enjoying it, right? Like still enjoying it. It's not just about penny pinching or budgeting with you. It's about budgeting so that you can enjoy the things that you love while still maintaining that minimalist mindset, right? And definitely with the Hermit coming out on the bottom, that definitely confirms what I was feeling. But if you don't feel like you're a minimalist, that's how people are perceiving you in this state. And that is something they find impressive about you, is because you're not out trying to buy Ralph Lauren, or you're not out here trying to get Gucci like everyone. You're not out here trying to buy the most expensive ride that there is, or upgrade your car every year. You may have the title in hand to everything that you own. You know, you might have your mortgage in hand. You might have your deed, I should say, the deed to your house in hand. You might have the title to your car in hand. Like everything you have, you own. You're not making payments on it. And that's something that people find incredibly impressive, especially in this day and age. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Swords with politics. We have the Three of Coins with guidance. And we have the Queen of Swords with morality. See, this is interesting. Like, you are very cold when it comes to like the money ideas, right? Like, oh, people are like, oh, well, you have enough money too. And for you, it's like, and I have enough money to do a lot of things, but people are like, might be trying to force you to do something. This could be family, it could be friends that are like trying to get you to keep up with the Joneses or stuff. But I feel like when it comes to that, you're very cold. And it's not without a purpose. It's because that's your business and your business alone. And it's like when people are trying to infringe on your business that's not theirs, you do get very, not defensive, but very much like, I'm setting a very solid boundary here. And so it comes off as cold. But it's you being strict about the fact that you might want to spend your money frivolously. You might want to spend your money however you want. I'm not going to come in and ask you, hey, how are you spending your money? Let me spend it for you, because that's not your job. And you see it that way. Wow, this is something I feel like you're very passionate about too, because I'm feeling that. Like, I'm feeling that come through. So maybe you're very passionate about helping people with money. You're like Dave Ramsey status type. You know, like, I want people to realize that if they stop living so frivolously now, that later they can start to live a way that they never even imagined. They could have the vacations that they want. They can do the things that they want. They can get a massage 3 times a week just because they want to. But so many people don't want to hold off now for the instant gratification. With the politics card here, it's like a lot of people are trying to act like they have your best interest in mind, but you catch that right away. You're like, you know what? You could act like that you're telling me that you know exactly what's right for me. This could be investments. This could be people saying, oh, why don't you invest in what I'm doing over here? Why don't you back me doing this? And you're like, look, I appreciate you coming to me and offering me this, but I'm gonna have to gracefully decline. And you do, and you walk away, because you're always listening to the guidance that you're receiving, but you're also very discerning on what is a good partnership and what is going to help both of you, or you in this group. If you get together, you're very aware of what is going to help you grow in a way that's beneficial for both parties, not just one party. And I feel like a lot of people feel that there's this energy, like you may be very well off, and they just assume that because you don't spend your money on much, that you're willing and ready to give your money to people. And what's impressive about you is that you say no. You're very clear about your no as well. You're not over here trying to like give people an excuse. You're just saying, no, it's my money. It doesn't matter how much I have. It's none of your business. No. And you could be the one that has the best financial standing in your family as well. And so this could be family that's coming in as well. That's like, oh, but you know, you have more than everyone else. And you just tell them like it is. It doesn't matter. I have taken control of my finances. I've given you steps on how to take control of your finances. But If you don't want to, that is not, what is that? My mom always used to say this, poor planning on your part does not constitute panic on mine. And I feel like that's exactly how you are. You're telling people, look, if you're going to plan poorly for your life, for your bills, for your journey, for your spiritual well-being, whatever it is, if you're going to plan poorly, that does not mean that I have to panic and figure it out for you, because that is not my job. It has never been my job to do that. But there's a lot of people who have hidden motives in coming to you. And what I feel like is why they're so impressed about you is because you recognize that right off the bat. You recognize that this person is coming with some sob story to make you feel guilty or bad so that you're going to give in. And you still say no, and they're completely astonished. Like, what? That got everyone else. Why didn't it get pile 3? And it's because you have a very solid understanding of yourself, but also your guidance system and your intuition, and you're very clear on focusing on listening to your guidance system and your intuition. And again, that minimalist mindset is so that you can enjoy things that you want to enjoy. It's not so everyone else can enjoy it. And I feel like that stuns people because they're so used to maybe you being in a different energy of helping everyone else out, or being the one that's like, when anyone was struggling, you were willing to just throw down a check or throw down money. And now you're not like that. And now you have more, but you have more because of the way you're budgeting and because of the way that you're taking care of yourself. Very money oriented, but the passion behind that is like you're telling people to do the things that they're passionate about. Like, the money will come. You don't have to stress about the money. So for many of you, this is definitely helping people understand that it's not about the bottom dollar. It's about so much more. It's about happiness. It's about freedom. It's about contentment. It's about time. It's about feeling worthy in yourself. And that's what impresses people about you, is because you're sharing this very powerful message that a lot of people want and wish to believe, and you're the embodiment of it as well. And it's interesting, but I do feel like for many of you too, it's just impressive that you're able to say no and not feel guilty for saying no to people. Why should you feel guilty for saying no to people? Your money is your money, right? Like, at the end of the day, if people cannot get that through their head, which a lot of people don't, they want to know, in this day and age, we all talk about, oh, what kind of a job do you have? Oh, how many hours do you work? What do you get paid? Those are like the top 3 questions that people ask. What does it matter what I do, how many hours I work, and what I get paid? Why does any of that matter? The only reason it has ever mattered is because other people are busy spending your money. That's why it has only ever mattered, and that's why it's something that is it's continued on, and it's carried on as some sort of weird tradition or ritual in meeting people or connecting with people, even like in family. Like, this is something I never talk about finances with people. I just don't. I don't, because people, the minute that they find out how much money you make, or how much money you're worth, I should say, that to them is saying like, oh, this is someone that I can go to when I'm in trouble and they're going to take care of me. Whether that's a yes or a no for you, it doesn't matter. They've already got it in their minds that you're going to take care of them. And so there is somebody here, there's a group of people here who believe that about you at one point. But now you've set such a solid boundary, they know that there's no way they're going to cross that. They're just not. And that's impressive, because maybe at one point you were really willing to help people. And I do feel like you help people in need, but you're also not here for a handout. And you're trying to teach people that, like, the 10th house coming out with structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. Yeah, and this is also connected to fame and fortune as well. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you've built up something and you're very fortunate and you're very grateful for what you have. But you're recognizing now that it's so imperative that you protect it for yourself, because you've gotten here to where you are because you've protected it. But you're also someone who's very open, like, hey, look, if you're struggling with money, maybe try this. It might work for you. It worked for me. And it's not about how much money you save because of that one tip or trick. It's just saying, it worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Like, you're very open about helping people find what works for them. And if people listen to you, they go that extra step. But a lot of people don't want to take those steps now because it means they have to give up their instant gratification. Neptune, dream and transcend. Yeah, you transcended illusions. The reality that people are stuck in is the physical world. And even if it's not money, it could be anything. This is something that's very impressive about you, is that you've transcended this physical reality. You're very much living from the spiritual aspect of life. We have Chameleon with change coming out, number 33. Yeah, you've changed. This is confirming what I was feeling. Like, you were one way at one point where people knew they could rely on you, or they felt like they could come to you no matter what. And at some part along the way, you said no. And I can't make this up. There are two beautiful little girls that are walking by right now. They're little. They must be like maybe 7 or 8 years old, but they're twins that are walking by. And I think that's like, that to me feels like this is a message that is like doubly important for those of you that need to hear it. Maybe you felt guilty for saying no. They walked by and then they turned around and they walked back. So I feel like for some of you, you felt guilty for saying no, maybe to family or friends or someone that you really love deeply, and you felt guilty at that. And I feel like this is doubly important for you. Sources coming in saying, like, don't feel guilty about taking care of yourself, because this person wants everyone to take care of them so that they can relinquish the responsibility of their own journey. And that's a very specific message coming through for someone, okay? So, like, we've got transformation with Sea Otter on the bottom. Yeah, you've definitely changed. You're not the same person you once were. So maybe you talked freely about your income and your life and your job and what it is that you were doing with others. And now you don't talk about that no more. Oh, we don't talk about that. You know, ain't nobody got time for that. Shoot. And you don't talk about it anymore because you're realizing, like, what people want to learn, it's not, they don't actually want to get to know you. They just want to get to know things about you so they can use that against you later. With Destroyer on the bottom. Wow, that is so synchronistic. Exactly. You have releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life. You let it go. The Shadow is intoxication with destructive powers and destroying others' dreams or potentials. Exactly. People only want to know this pertinent information so that they can do with it what they want and not see it as that's your life, it's your journey to live. Many people don't. They believe that they know what to do with your life better than you do, which is such a funny thing, right? That is so funny that people, and we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, right? I've done that to others too. It's something that I had to become conscious of, and I feel like it's just so funny that this is like running rampant in our societal construct, that I know how to live your life better than you ever could. So let me just go ahead and take the reins. But we're so busy trying to take the reins for everyone else's life that we're not taking the reins for ourselves. And that's what I feel like people find very impressive about you, pile number 3, is that you've taken the reins of your own life. When maybe you gave power away to other people, you're now taking back your power and standing in this aloneness and this wisdom and knowing. We have Libra, finding your balance. Yeah, balancing the scales of justice. Things are coming back around for you in a very beautiful way. And you're being rewarded for the way you're living, but for the way that you're seeing the world as well. And for trusting that everything is happening for a purpose. You're being rewarded. And people are going to be seeing those rewards coming in, right? They're going to be seeing that, but there's nothing they can do about it because you're not giving an inch. Because you know if you give an inch, people will take a mile. And you're like, nope, I'm not even going to give a centimeter. Like, it's not, we're not even going to give a, it's not going to happen. Okay? They can take that and shove it. Sorry, that was so funny. Oh my goodness. Sometimes the things they say. Service. Look at that. Exactly. I feel good when I can help others. You are someone who lives for acts of service. That might even be your love language, is acts of service. And so that's something that leaves people in, they're baffled by the fact that you're not giving them those acts of service, but they're also impressed because you're not giving them those acts of service. The Fool card, we have fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy, which we were just talking about it. How absurd is it that people want to find out this pertinent information so they can use it for themselves, right? And I feel like that's what you're showing people. You're showing them, like, it doesn't matter. Stop trying to figure that out because that's old news, and we don't need to live in that old news, right? We have using humor to wound rather than to liberate, denial of your emotional truth. Yeah, so you're very much in this place of you understand and know exactly who you are, and you're not afraid to live in that energy. You're not afraid to be present in that energy. Very, very clearly here. We have the first house identity check. Yeah. That's the thing, like, you've changed. And this identity check is confirming that as well. With the change card here, you are someone who has overcome something that felt impossible at some point, and through that you've become so much stronger, and you're always checking your own identity, and you're always looking at yourself first, right? Especially with the sun here, you're always looking at yourself first. Like, is this something that I'm playing a part in, or like, what is this mirroring back to me? Is this something that I'm letting my emotional ego rule over me? You're asking these very difficult questions so that you can stay in this very calm place. And that's also very impressive to others. They're like, wow, I would never ask myself that question. I would have never even thought to ask myself that question when I got into a really negative situation. I would have just let the negativity overrun me. Forgiveness. Oh my goodness. This is such a powerful reading. It says, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So you're in this place where you're not letting others get you down, and you're very much practicing forgiveness. In fact, I feel like for you and your pile number 3, and you got the number 33 card here, right? That's very powerful energy coming through. So 333. Also, I'm seeing 666 coming out as well. But I feel like the thing is here for you, pile number 3, is that you have been on the journey of forgiveness for a long time, and maybe forgiveness was not something that came easy to you at first. And now you're teaching others to forgive and to let go, but to step up into their power by choosing themselves in a very clear way, saying, I don't have to feel guilty for saying and choosing myself, right? Saying no and choosing myself. I can feel empowered now by choosing myself and saying no, especially when it matters for my own well-being. And so you're teaching others that if you let go of this resentment, you let go of the emotions, right? Fearlessly revealing emotions. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel upset, to feel that drive and that passion for it. But you're also not letting that be the controlling aspect of you. You're coming very much from a level-headed, balanced place, right? With the Libra energy here, from a very balanced place, so that you can help others heal from these wounds that they've received, okay? I love this. We've got music with harmony coming out here. Yeah. You're honestly a very harmonious person, and people feel very attracted to you. They're very magnetized to your energy, not only because of the way you see the world around you, or how you're helping them, or how you're helping them to see things differently, or whatever advice you're giving to them. It's because you bring this sense of, when you're in this state of forgiveness, you bring this sense of peace and harmony to others. You're a living embodiment of that. And that might be something that's very passionate for you, is forgiveness. And that people might have been convinced that that's a fool's errand, being in this state of forgiveness. But you've learned better than that. You've found better than that. You've found that being in a state of forgiveness is what has given you the freedom to be who you truly are, and to be stable and strong with who you are as well. So there's definitely this element that people are so impressed at how much you've been through and what you've gone through, but how much you've forgiven, and how much you've come back into this place of just being passionate about what you love and what you love to do. Also very financially sound for many of you. And if you're like, no, I'm not there yet, that should be the key. I'm not there yet, but I'm creating that now, right? Because that's something that you're meant to experience in this life. I love this. This is such a beautiful reading for you, and I'm so honored I got to connect with you in this way, pile number 3. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little balance scales, right? The balance scales, leave the little balance scales below, and says, through forgiveness and revealing my true emotions and staying level-headed, that I am showing the world a new way to approach harmony and true justice for ourselves. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very, very powerful message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Leo on it, or if you were drawn to this piece of yellow jasper, if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on what do people find impressive about you. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. If you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel, so I just suggest dropping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. And should the messages happen to resonate along the way, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Now, for the first time ever on this channel, we did a 4th pile today. I was called to do 4 piles on this reading. I don't know why, but let's go ahead and find out. So source, what do people find impressive about pile number 4? What would you like to say today? What messages do you have? Source, what do people find impressive about pile number 4? What would you like to say? Okay, so we've got the 8th house, we've got Virgo energy, and we've got Uranus. You're very gifted in many, many things. I feel like everything in life might come easy to you, or it doesn't take a lot of hard work for you to figure out a way that's going to make it simple for you to pick up, you know, and that could be anything. It could be learning new languages, it could be the spiritual journey, it could be tapping into your psychic gifts, this could be tapping into your original talents, whatever they might be. But people find that very impressive about you is that you're able to pick up things very, very quickly. And I also feel like you're not over here like, well, everyone else should pick it up as fast as I am. Like, you recognize that you pick things up very, very quickly. In fact, many of you might resonate with starseed origins, and I'm not really going to get into that too much, but you might resonate with that. But we do see here that you're someone who keeps to themselves a lot, but is also very humble and mature and very calm and collected, and at times can be a perfectionist. And people wonder oftentimes why it is that you're such a perfectionist when things seem to come so easy to you. You're very fluid though. You're able to mix and match and mingle with any crowd, and very much like a chameleon, right? Like, I can blend in anywhere I go. I can tap in and talk to anybody about anything, and if you don't know something, like, you're willing to ask questions about it. You're not going to just sit here and be like, oh, well, yeah, of course I know about that, when you don't know about that. And people find that really impressive about you. But with the 8th house energy here, it does feel like a lot of people feel like you're just someone who's very intense and intimidating and impressive in general. Like, your energy, your personality, who you are, you're just a very intense person. You're very outgoing. Some of you might be an introvert, extrovert, right? Like, is that an ambivert? Where sometimes you're introverted, sometimes you're extroverted. Many of you might be extroverted as well, especially for picking the Leo pile. Like, I know it has nothing to do with the signs, but they're showing me the Leo, so there must have something to do with it. Or you're extroverted when you need to be, right? You're good at blending in. And that's something that people find very impressive. It seems like you know no stranger. And you're willing to have a conversation with anybody about anything. And you meet friends everywhere you go. And you connect with people. Like, you're really good at networking. And you really are able to connect with everybody on their level. And so I feel like people feel like they're your friend immediately, and that's something that people find very impressive. So you might befriend people who do not make friends, and suddenly here comes in pile number 4, and they're like, hey, what's up? How's it going? How you doing? And they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm immediately friends with pile number 4. Even though they might be acquaintances to you, like these people who never ever open up about themselves to others, like they're willing and ready to open up to you. And so that's something that people find very impressive about you, is that you are easy to talk to, and you're easy for people to share their very secretive stories with, things they wouldn't share with anybody, and they share that with you. You might have some really wild stories that you've heard in your life from people, just wondering, why would someone share that with me? Well, it's your energy. It's just, you're so welcoming and open, and I feel like you're very non-judgmental. Like you don't judge people for the lives that they've lived, and they feel very comfortable sharing very private information with you. You might be like, wow, I never in my whole life would have thought I would have ever heard that, but here we are, and here I am hearing it. And so people find it very impressive that they feel safe enough to share stuff with you, things that they've been holding back on. And that actually might mean that you're a healer or you're a converter, where people do feel safe with you, and so they share their story with you, not so that you're carrying it, but so that they're hearing it out loud. And sometimes hearing our own stories out loud gives us permission to heal from them. So let's see what else comes out. Source, why are people impressed, or what do people find impressive about pile number 4? What do people find impressive about pile number 4? Receptivity and sharing. Yeah, so can we be more clear? We've got the Queen of Wands here and the Queen of Cups. Yeah, you're very open. You're very receptive. You're very allowing of people. You just allow them to be whatever they're going to be in that moment. But it also feels deeper than that. It's just your energy. It gives off such a compassionate energy and safe, like the mother. Right, you've healed the mother wound, and you're that person that's like, you know, I keep hearing that only a face a mother would love. Like that's the type of energy that you're in, and it's not about people's looks, it's about people's actions, right? Like their actions can make them ugly or make them seem ugly, or something that they're very ashamed of. And when they're around you, pile number 4, they're like, oh my gosh, this is the energy I've waited for my whole life, to share this one story that just won't leave me alone. And then they share it with you, and it's like they sleep like babies the next day, because they finally got something off their chest, and they're not the only ones that are carrying it. And again, it's not for you to carry, and I feel like maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's not about you carrying that energy. It was never about that. It's just you're the converter, you're the transmitter. So it's like people finally just, it's just like confession, right? This is my confession. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like people come to you to confess, but they don't even recognize that they're going to come in and confess. And I feel like that's what people find impressive about you, is because the people who are impressed by you are people who have confessed to you, and they're like, oh my gosh, if pile number 4 wanted to destroy me, they have the perfect story to do so, but you never do. Like you never come back to hurt people. You're not out here trying to make people feel bad about it. I feel like all that's information for you to help better understand the world for yourself, and you do, like you use that as a way to keep understanding people, and to find ways to sympathize with people and to empathize with people as well. We have maturity on the bottom. Yeah, with the Ace of Coins, you're a very mature individual. That's been something that's been very underlying throughout the whole reading. And also, if you watched all 4 readings, I have this thing called the Purple Heart Club. Leave a purple heart down below. That tells me that you've been with me since reading 1 all the way to here, and I really appreciate you. It doesn't matter if you spent the whole reading with me or just this reading with me. I really do appreciate your energy and your time here. But with the Ace of Coins, like this is your gift. That's what it is. This is your gift. You're a gift to humanity. You're this transmuter, this converter, this energy where it's like a healer, but you're a healer for people's deepest, darkest secrets. They're safe with you, and they feel safe with you. And that's what's so impressive about you to other people. They're just like, wow, I never would have imagined I would have met somebody in my life that I would have ever shared that story with. Not ever. Like, you might know things that this person's spouse doesn't know, or that these people's families don't know about them. You know those things because they're only ever going to tell someone who they feel truly safe with, because if they didn't feel safe with someone, they knew that this could be something that might potentially destroy their life. Like if someone robbed a bank, they come up to you, Pile 4, and they're like, hey, look, you know, I robbed this bank one time and it was way back in my youth and I got away with it, but I feel real bad about it. But, you know, like I never told nobody that. Like I don't want to go to prison because of it. You could call the cops and report them, but you never did. I know that's a very extreme circumstance, but that's how secretive these people are about what it is that they're sharing with you. Like they feel that with it. They feel like they're giving you all the ammunition in the world, but you do nothing with it because you're this very mature soul and you're recognizing that this is healing for them and you're giving them that space. You're allowing them that space. Look at this, patience, very feminine energy with patience. The Queen of Wands, this is the 7 of Coins, and the Queen of Cups coming in here, even with the maturity card, all feminine energy. What I was saying, like the mother wound, you've healed the mother wound and you give a safe space for people to come to the mother. So you might identify with the mother archetype, or you might identify with the divine feminine. And again, we're trying to lose that identification that holds our ego hostage. And the hostage becomes just crazy and taking over and stuff. But I do feel like that's something you might definitely resonate with, is the healer and the mother archetype energy, where you're taking care of people, you give space for people. You might be a mother and your children's friends refer to you as mom, or your dad and your children's friends refer to you as dad. Like you don't have a name amongst the children because you're just mom or dad, you're whatever role you're playing. And again, it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman or whatever you identify with. This is just the energy that you give off. You're very open, and because you're very open and non-judgmental about things, people come to you and they're like, I know that I can share this. And you just have this immense patience. It's like the patience of a saint. And you come in and you might share wisdom, you might not. And I don't feel like it's necessary for you to share anything, really. I feel like it's just people need to share this with you, and literally it's bouncing off of you and going to source's ears, but it needed to be said out loud. And maybe some of you had to learn how to become very grounded in your own energy so that you weren't absorbing what people were saying or like taking on that energy as your own. But I do feel like you've mastered that, and that's something that's also incredibly impressive about you, is that you're empathetic, but you're also not carrying that burden. And that's something that people find very impressive about you. You allow them space to become whomever it is that they're meant to become, and to play out the cycles of healing in maybe just a few moments of time. Then you give them the bounty of love. And through this bounty of love, they're able to receive what they never were before when they were a child, or you know, like if they have their own wounded mother that they're dealing with, you're the one that helps them to begin to heal that connection with the wounded mother. And that begins to give them compassion for themselves. And it's like, well, if pile number 4 can accept me for who I am, then maybe I can accept myself. And we always talk about how it's not about others validating our existence, but sometimes that's healing for us, right? We're so disconnected from seeing ourselves with eyes of love that we need someone else to see us through eyes of love so that we can begin to see that too. And I feel like you're the embodiment of that, pile number 4, which I love. You have such a generous energy and such a beautiful, it's just very beautiful. It's very calming and assuring. And I just feel like I'm wrapped up in a nice warm hug. You know, no one gives hugs like mom. And that's what I feel like. It's a hug from mom, and it's just like everything that I've ever needed. And I love that. And that's what people find impressive about you. They just feel so held by you and your energy and the space that you give to them. And that's something that maybe they've been praying for their entire lives. And yes, maybe you do attract narcissists. And yes, maybe you do attract people who are trying to use that to their advantage. But I feel like no matter who you attract into your energy, you've definitely learned the gift of discernment for yourself, for your own protection. But also, people who wouldn't receive the healing otherwise, so like if it is a narcissistic person, you're still so abundant with this loving energy that it still impacts them on a very deep healing level, right? And it's like that energy. And so people are very drawn to you, but they are very intimidated by you as well, right? Especially if they've never had that strong divine feminine energy, or the dark feminine I'm hearing in this. And you might have resonated with another pile as well, or been called to another pile as well. And this is just further confirmation of that. And so being around the strong feminine energy, the dark feminine energy, is giving them that, okay, this is safe, it's okay. But I keep getting that energy, safe, I'm safe with pile number 4. So we have conjunction coming out here, a union emerging and a coming together. Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. You help everyone begin to heal something within themselves. That union of the energies, the masculine and the feminine, you begin to balance that out within others. And you don't even have to do anything, pile number 4. And I feel like that's why people are impressed with you, because they feel like they've gained something after knowing you for even just a moment's time. Look, we have mutable energy, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, with surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. Yeah, you're just there, and it's not that you're taking up space, it's you. It's you, your energy, but you give space to others to show up as they will. And that's where the power comes from. They've never been given that energy. Yeah, you're definitely in your power of divine feminine, because out of this deck, out of the animal deck, out of this deck, this is actually the only card in there that talks about exerting your power of will, especially if you're a woman. Okay, like that's what the first line on this card says, especially if you're a woman, right? And I believe this is Lakshmi. I'm not 100% sure. If I'm wrong, please let me know. You know, like, I get it. I don't know everything, and I'm not trying to know everything, and I get them all mixed up too, because I study a lot, and sometimes your just brain gets jumbled with stuff. But we talk about the power of will here, and you give others the courage to feel, right? We'll look at her orange scarf here, and it's like connected to the sacral chakra, and this is our right to feel with the sacral chakra energy. And so it's like you're giving them a right to feel how they feel. You're not telling them they're wrong. You're not trying to shoot them down or invalidate their emotions. You just give them space to feel whatever it is that they're feeling. And then you show up in this very abundant, graceful, poetic energy. Wow, this is so strong. Look at this. We have the butterfly with the soul. Yeah, it's your soul. It's like your soul just knows things, right? That's why I'm saying you might identify with being a starseed, or starseed origins. And right, you come from, maybe you're Palladian, maybe you're from Orion, maybe you're from Arcturian, or you're Arcturian, or you're Andromedan, or you know, whatever it is. It's like, but there's like a wisdom here that you've gained from a millennia. This is like a deep millennia. It's like when we're more accepting of others, because we're accepting of ourselves, we give others space to begin healing in a way that they would have never healed before. So I feel like you definitely embody that naturally, and you've definitely embodied it your whole life, but I feel like you begun mastering this as a part of your soul journey, and you're tapping into soul wisdom here. This is even more than just the Akashic records. This is like star knowledge that was passed down for generations in a life that you lived somewhere else. And if you don't believe in them, that's fine. Then it's just talking about wisdom that you've been given from the divine, okay? I'm not here trying to make anybody believe any one thing. You believe what you believe, and that's right for you. There is no right or wrong. There is only what's right or wrong for you. It's interesting that I would talk about that. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. But I do feel like that's also what you do for other people, is you remind them there is no right or wrong. Like, even if they did something that was terrible in other people's eyes, like, it might not be as bad as they're making it out to be, or what other people might be making it out to be. It's just something that if there's a space where there's no judgment, then it allows for healing. Like, I'm getting an image of like an AA meeting, right? Could you imagine if someone was going into Alcoholics Anonymous and they were trying to recover from alcoholism, okay? And you went in and everybody judged you because you were an alcoholic. Even though everybody there is an alcoholic too. Like, everybody has their own sin, in other words, right? And if you've been with my channel for any time, you know I always talk about no one is free from sin. But I feel like that's the thing. It's like you're the person who maybe you didn't experience that in this lifetime, but you might have experienced that in another lifetime. So for you, it's like, who am I to judge? And I feel like you live by that. That might be one of your mottos, is who am I to judge? Who am I to judge another person for the choices that they've made? Who am I to sit here and condemn another person for what they thought was right for them? And so because you're in that energy, people come in and they're willing to share. And that's where the healing comes from. Just like it would be in AA, which is so weird that they're bringing this up. Maybe you help people. Maybe you are in AA. Maybe you're a, what do they call that? A sponsor. Maybe you're a sponsor for someone. Okay, and I know it's a very specific message, but that's something that's coming in. But, you know, imagine that's where the healing starts, is when people feel the courage to share their story and get it off their chest. So that's your healing ability. It's just naturally you being you and being present when people are sharing what they have to share. Look, oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Source. Thank you for that confirmation. We have the healer on the... I didn't even know this was on the bottom. I was just talking and looking around, looking outside at the tents and the people walking around. There's a whole bunch of people walking around right now. It's late in the evening, and so people are coming back from the pool, getting ready for dinner, and so... Anyways, we have passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Exactly. Source being so clear. You may have definitely resonated with another pile. We have the shadow attributes here. Taking advantage of those who need help and failing to care for oneself. Yeah, your energy is very healing. You're very welcoming. And you're teaching others that it's okay to heal and be free of the burden of whatever this is that they've done, the secret that they're holding. And so that's what people find impressive about you, is just no matter what people tell you, like, you're never shocked. You're never like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. You're just like, oh, okay, that's what you did. Then, you know, what do you feel like you need to do about it? Or what do you feel like is going to be the best route for you? Now that you've gotten this off your chest, like, you're just always helping them come back to finding solutions for themselves. Yeah, we have sweet results away. Yeah, you're just this very kind, sweet energy. It's like honey. People are intoxicated by your energy. It's like, even if it's not just through healing, like, people are intoxicated by your energy, and it gives them this profound sensation where they're realizing that I don't have to be such, like, so on edge. I can be with what is, and that's okay. And that's healing. I don't feel like anybody came to you and was like, oh, I need you to heal me. Like, I don't feel like anybody expects you to heal them. It just happens. We're blazing new trails with Aries energy. Yeah, and this is Aries energy too, the Queen of Wands. So you could be an Aries. You could have Aries highly aspect in your chart. You could have Uranus in Aries. You could have the 8th house in Aries. You could have Aries sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Or the 11th house. You could also have a 1st house stellium and a 4th house stellium. Okay, let's go with it. We have trine. Things are magically aligning. Yeah. Right, there's this, and this very feminine energy here, the triangle. We think about the yoni symbol in yoga is like this. And if you're wondering what the yoni is, I'm not going to go into explanation about it. You either know or you don't. It's okay. It's a sacred space, though. It's talking about the womb center. But oftentimes, if you're healing the yoni, you can put this symbol right over where the sacral chakra is, and it brings a ton of energy and healing to that area. And that is the energy of the triangle here. So with the trine here, things are magically aligning. Like, you give them, like, and you have this circle here, and you have, I don't know what this is. It looks like somebody standing in the middle. This is the head, and this is their shoulders, and their arms are coming out here. But, like, you're giving somebody space to be a different shape than what you are, and all the while not rejecting them for what they're bringing. All right, whoa. on the bottom. Let's try again. Discipline. We have, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Yeah, and I feel like that's the reason why you are the way that you are. You've disciplined yourself into loving yourself. And I know that sounds weird. How do you discipline yourself into loving yourself? Because you're taking your self-love seriously, right? You're taking this loving of self very, it's something that's very important to you. And so that takes discipline to show up, right? No romantic relationship is ever just going to unfold without a sense of discipline coming in. And I don't mean discipline like punishment. I mean discipline with consistency, showing up, having respect, holding integrity within the connection, right? These are things that are discipline. And if we're not holding true to that, we could very easily step off of a relationship that's very much in alignment with us because of making a wrong decision for ourselves. And so I feel like for you, you've learned that about yourself, and you've learned that about your journey to self-love, and that's something you take very seriously, and you show up with consistency with yourself because you give yourself that space. That's what gives you the freedom to give others that space, which others are very impressed by. We have teacher energy here. The ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And we have the shadows manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. And I said at the beginning, you have this wisdom, this generational star with wisdom that's been passed down. And that's what you're teaching others. You're teaching others that to be in judgment means we lose ourselves. To be in acceptance means we give everybody space to find their own true healing. And we're looking at generations that are, yes, coming in enlightened, but we're also seeing a mix of generations of just full throttle judgment from early childhood. And so we're trying to combat that and balance the scales out again with this wisdom that we're receiving. Gossip, interesting. We have awakens consideration for the feelings of others. Honoring trust. Right there. Before we even look at the shadow attributes, that's exactly what you do. You're this person who considers where others are coming from, but you also want to honor that trust. Like if someone's trusting you with this information, like that, who am I to judge? But who am I to spread this information about someone else? You don't, right? Because you're knowing it's not your story to spread on. That's what other people are very impressed with. They find it's very impressive that you're not spreading their stories around. You're not gossiping about anybody. You're not gossiping about them. And you don't, right? It might not be, even if it's a friend, like you might not ever bring that shadow aspect up ever again. It might be something that just stays hidden, locked up, because who are you to talk about it with them if they're not bringing it up first, right? Like you're not going to keep rehashing it with someone. You recognize that they told you this in confidence, and it stays in confidence. So with the shadows, thrives on power, passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. Wow, that is so telling here. So we see that. That's what's so, people find so impressive about you, is that you don't gossip about them. You don't pass on information that could very easily ruin their reputation. And that was something we got at the very beginning of this reading, coming in with confirmations here. We have cow spirit with the miracles are endless. And again, the abundance. There's something about your energy that's so balanced in abundance, caring and giving. It makes people feel like they're on top of the world. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentments blocks the flow of love. So you're teaching people how to forgive, not just others. I feel like the most important thing is here is you're teaching people how to forgive themselves, which can oftentimes be the most difficult thing we do, is forgiving ourselves and giving ourselves space to just be who we've been so that we can become who we're meant to become, or unbecome, rather, what it is that we thought we needed to be. And so I feel like you're definitely teaching people the gift of forgiveness here. So let's take a look at this card here and see what it is. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this for you. We have Meadow with vulnerability. This is what people find most impressive about you, pile number 4, is how they're able to be absurdly vulnerable with you, but also how you're able to be vulnerable in accepting that, right? Because to accept someone's vulnerability is also putting ourselves in a state of vulnerability, saying, I'm willing to see life from your point of view for this time frame, and I'm willing to see where you're coming from without judgment, without trying to harm you. I'm ready and willing to receive whatever it is that you're bringing, knowing that it's going to bring you healing. Like, this is part of your healing gifts, right? Just the knowledge, this knowledge. Like, and underneath that, we have the student. So not only are you the teacher, you're also the student gaining more information. But this is a part of your gift. It's just, you're so gifted. We were talking about that with the Ace of Coins here. This is a gift that Source gave to you. And also learning how to magnify and embody this gift has been a part of your journey. And you're doing it very, very well. And to keep being yourself, because you're doing such a good thing for the world. And just somebody who's willing to give others space to be those ugly parts of themselves for just a moment, so that they can see that it wasn't as ugly as maybe their emotional ego is making it out to be. That's a powerful thing indeed, right? And I pray Pile 4, that you've been able to give that to yourself, or that you yourself have learned that from someone as well, that gave you that safety. And if you didn't learn it from someone, I pray that you received that from Source, and you felt that from Source, so that you know you can give that to yourself as well, because we need healers like you on the world. We need more non-judgmental people. We need people who are ready and willing to receive with open arms, so that we can begin healing the imbalances in this life. Absolutely incredible. I'm truly honored. I did 4 piles and I got to connect with you. This was an amazing reading. I'm just so glad I did this reading. It was so cool to see the differences between all the piles and some similarities as well. So this is what I see here for you, pile number 4. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little heart emoji that has the little bandage around it down below, and say, by healing and accepting and forgiving myself, I give space for others to heal, accept, and love themselves without judgment. And this is providing me with true freedom in life. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, Source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this amazingly powerful message. And until next time, pile number 4, stay human. Bye.